actually a time-boxed iterative approach to software development.
Okay.
So when I say time-boxed, we know that an iteration has to last, say, for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks.
Okay.
Typically, it's in the range of 1 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
It can be a little longer if, again, it depends on the arrangement with the customer and how the customer would want the development to be done.
Okay.
But essentially, it's between 1 to 4 weeks,
okay.
the iterations.
Okay.
And what happens is that the more iterations you do, rather than coming up with a big release which comes, say, 3 months hence, the more you would know if the requirements that were captured and the discussions that were done are aligned towards what the customer wants.
Okay.
So, as and when we release these iterations, I mean, we have these iteration releases every 2 weeks, the customer gets to see, okay, what is building up, and if it is in line with what I wanted. You know, we've all seen those cartoon strips where, you know, they talk about what the customer wanted was a swing on this tree, on this tree branch, and what finally comes up is a sofa seat on a tree branch. So that talks about how the expectations have been mismanaged or not being matching with what the customer really wanted. So to break that, it was really important to actually involve the customer more in the software development cycles itself than just to do it in one phase in the beginning of the project and letting it be for the rest of the time.
Okay. Okay, so, and this iterative approach, so make sure that you are on track, and therefore you deliver what they want and deliver on time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the team is actually organized in such a manner where they know that they have just 2 weeks to work on. Okay, so it's not that I would start off with. So when the iteration planning is happening, that is when the role of the manager, as we would call in a traditional methodology, or it kind of depends. The roles depend on what kind of methodology you're adopting in Agile in any of these organizations who have started doing it, majorly into their software development now. You would see that we adopt Scrum methodologies in Dream Orbit. So in Scrum methodologies, you have a role of a product owner. So a product owner would ensure that this is what I would want at the end of this iteration, and so once he has decided that these are the tasks which are supposed to be done by the time the iteration is over, and so he knows what he can expect at the end, and he knows and the team knows what they have to deliver by the end of this iteration period, and at the same time the product owner would also define an acceptance criteria that I would not accept this specific feature till the time this acceptance criteria has been met with. So he defines what it is that actually is going to take for the product owner to accept that specific task or the feature to be completed. So basically, at all times, the team is it is working pretty much together in a very cohesive manner, where they know from the beginning to the end what they're supposed to do. Although, having said that, Agile also kind of takes pride in the fact that they can handle, changes which come about later in the iteration also, and that is where it makes it a very flexible approach to software development rather than what we used to have in the traditional methods, where once the requirements are frozen, you can't change them for the next 6 months till the time the development would be going on. So that is where Agile, even within an iteration, you would see that we welcome customers' new features or say some changes that the customer might just want to suggest, and we try to incorporate it. But having said that, the time box is fixed, so we would have to take something else out to fit this thing in. So that is where we would not want to turn down the customer saying that hey, we can't do it. We would rather say that we welcome the changes, but at the same time, obviously you have to make do with something which was less important in your eyes right now. So yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.